Welcome back to Cardigan Bay Fishing Adventures. I want to say straight off, Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope you all have a good Christmas. I also hope you have a good New Year. This is potentially my last video for this season. We'll get back on in January. For anyone watching who don't know, my name is David Barber. Today we are fishing for cod and bass. I have been out quite a lot trying, it's just not happening. The fishing has been really poor. We've got probably 6-7 foot waves. It's rough as anything, blowing a westerly. The water's nice and brown. Probably a little bit too rough. We've got a bite. Look at that rod with a weed on it. Sorry, rudely interrupted. Well, as you can see, I've even got weed blowing up the line. But we have just had a bite on that rod. It's just slammed really hard. And it come right back. So yeah, I'm sorry for that rude interruption. Well, as I was saying, we are fishing for cod and bass. The conditions are horrible. It'd be really nice to sit at home with a nice warm cup of tea, but you're not going to catch anything doing that, are you? I'm out giving it a go. What I will do is show you the baits I'm using, how I'm doing them, how I'm wrapping them up and stuff. That left-hand rod that's had a bite has got razor clam on it. It's actually a double razor clam. The other rod has got cuttlefish and black lugworm wrapped together. I will keep an eye on this rod just to see. It was a very good bite, but normally you get a really aggressive bite, it drops back, you get a big slack line. It wasn't a full-on slack line bite. And I did have a bite just where it was a big slack line and I missed the fish. The bait had tangled itself up and the hooks was last. There's a good chance we'll pull bass out in these conditions. And I am crossing my fingers tight for a little codling. Or a big one. You never know, do you? What I'll do, I'll get some baits wrapped up now and I'll show you on the camera how you wrap them up and what I'm exactly doing. Hopefully a fish grabs hold of one of these. And we get to show you some fish on camera today. I have been out quite a lot, not for the last 2-3 weeks, but before that I've been out fishing a lot and it's just been really bad fishing. Just catching dogfish really, little baby huss, little strap congers. There's been nothing exciting. There's been nothing exciting at all to video and show. It'll be a boring video. But obviously this is like a Christmas special where I can say Merry Christmas to you all. I want to thank you all for supporting the channel all year and I'm sorry for the lack of content this year. I will definitely try and get more content out next year for you. So what I'm going to do here is try and show you wrapping up a bait. I am going to be looking up at the rods. Hopefully it doesn't annoy you. What we've got is nice big stinky cuttlefish baits. We might have a bite again. We're going to keep getting interrupted, aren't we? But yeah, we've got big cuttlefish baits right there like that. There's normally a backbone in these, which is there, and I've pulled that out. So what I'm going to do, while I'm watching the rods, is chop this in half. So get a good pair of scissors and cut it straight up the middle. You can see all the mess coming out of it. You do need a rag preparing this bait, definitely. There, we've got a tiny little chunk of squid and carp, which is bait from about 2 or 3 years ago. Sort of wrap it in there. A nice big chunky bait. Plenty of scent. One I like to use is the Tronix Baitex. It's really good stuff. It lasts for absolutely ages. And it's just, yeah, it's good. This is the heavy elastic. So what I'm going to do, get a bit of elastic on there, hold it with my thumb, and I'm going to wrap it, but I'm not going to go really tight. I'm just whipping it. just to help hold this bait together, as you can see. It's not mega tight or anything. I can tighten it up after if I want to. So what we'll do is keep wrapping, spin the bait around so we can wrap the other side. You do get covered in mess when you're doing cuttlefish like this. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. You'll get people saying, oh, that bait's not going to work and all sorts. Wrap it how you want to wrap it, fish with it and see what happens. Make your own minds up. Some people will say it's too fat, it's too thin, it's too long, it's too short. You make your baits how you want to make your baits, and if it works for you, keep at it and keep doing it. So as you can see now, we've generally got the shape. This is quite a thick sausage, but that's nothing to a decent codling or a bass. A 2-pound bass will swallow that, not a problem. So what we'll do, now we've got the actual shape that we want, we're going to go a little bit tighter. If you've watched my videos before, you know I do not go shy with the elastic. So what I'm going to do is a little bit tighter and do closer wraps together. What I'm doing is binding the bait together so it lasts longer basically. You may have crabs and stuff out there. You don't get as many this time of year. But this just makes the bait last, basically. It keeps it tough. So there's the bait, like that. What we'll do in a moment is show you how to put this onto a rig. What I'll do now, I'll get a rig out of my rig wallet. I'm using pulley panel rigs. I will show you quickly what a pulley panel is for the people that don't know. There is videos on the channel of making these rigs up. So if you want to go back through the videos, it might be a couple of years ago, but there is videos on there. Basically, the best cod rig, I think I've titled it as, which I wouldn't say it's the best cod rig, but it's definitely the one that most used for the cod, because you fish over rough ground. But we'll get into that in a moment. We'll explain that in the next part. So this is the pulley rig. We call it a pennel, because it's got a main hook there tied on, and then you've got another hook here, free on the line. These are Sakuma hooks. I'm sure that's Sakuma mantas, and the other hook is like a type of chinook. Because I'm fishing over rough ground, I want to set up something called a rotten bottom. That is a rotten bottom clip. I'm going to show you how to set all this up now. This little thing here is called an imp. What that does, you put your hook into there for casting, it hits the water and it releases your hook. Just keeps it all streamlined. So what you're going to do, at the top of the rotten bottom, clip this on, like that. So it sits there like that. And we're going to clip onto there with the rig. The bottom of the rig has a Trident tackle thermalink. We're going to clip that onto there. So it looks like that. Then what we'll do is get a bit of fishing line, and I'll show you what to do next. It's 18 pound mono. The main line on my rod is 20 pound, so this line is weaker, so this will snap before my real line will snap. That's the theory. What you do is tie it on to the bottom of the rotten bottom there. So tie that on. You can do 6 turns and back through, which is a blood knot. Now we're going to get a grip lead, which is that there. I will show you how this works, and we're going to tie the line to this grip lead. So that's the line tied to there, look like that. So you got the rotten bottom with the weak link, that's what that's called. How this works, you got the gate there, that's called the gate. So what you do, you put your lead onto the gate, lift the gate up and push the bead down over it, and it'll sit like that. When you cast this out, the water hits the bead and it releases the lead. So the lead is fishing on that line. If this lead was to get stuck in a rock, when you pull, this line snaps before anything else. So then your rig is free to come back hopefully. Sometimes it just all completely snags up, there's just nothing you can do. But that is the idea behind the rig. For anyone that don't know, the grip lead, you got the wires like this, which come up and lock into place. So you cast this out, whether it's on sand or anything, and that will dig in like an anchor. when you wind to reel, these snap back. As you can see, they come back like that. They both do the same. So at the other end, what we're going to do is put this bait on that we've just wrapped and show you the process of what we do. We'll put this bait on as it is, a nice big chunky bait. Put it into the bait. Leave plenty showing if you want to, you don't have to. So as you can see, I've got plenty of hook points showing. What I'm doing is using my thumb to hold down the eye of the hook. We're going to elasticate it again. Some might be thinking, that's a lot of elastic. The fish can't see it, it doesn't make a difference to the fish. All this is doing is making sure this bait lasts as long as possible. It's not going to fall apart, it's not going to break up. If there's crabs out there, it takes them longer to pick it apart. So this is what we're doing now. Wrap up and down the bait, just like this, around the end, around the hook. And the main part we want to elasticate is around the eye and the knot here. And also keep this line nice and straight along the bait. That helps when you come to cut it off later on, because you know where your line is, you don't end up cutting your line. But my plan is with this, I'm going to get this elasticated up, get it ready, get this rig over there, bring one of the rods in and put this on and cast it out. It's called double patting. The reason why, this rig's baited up, ready to go. So what I'm going to do is elasticate it right up to the top, just like this. And what you want, that hook, you want it to stand up straight, and no matter what happens, it's not going to fall down flat and stick to the bait and mask the hook. So, snap it off. Some people do a couple of granny knots in it and tie it off. So there's your bait. What I'll do now, we've got the pennel hook there. Slide that down. As you can see, it's on the line, free running. So what you do, generally, you wrap around it 2 or 3 times. That's 1, 2, that's 3 times. You can come back to the bait now, any side you want. Put the hook back into the bait, like this, at the top. Slide it in, down a little bit, tap it out, hold that hook, and gently pull the line. And what it does, it's locked, like that. So you've got a hook at the top and a hook at the bottom. Generally what you'll find with good bites, nice bass, nice codling, it's that hook that they get hooked on, not this one, and I don't know why. I'm not really sure, but that seems to be generally what happens. So that's ready to go. What I will do is trim the top up on this one. It's a bit messy. You don't have to do that. I'll just personal preference. So the top's trimmed up. And what I will do is trim a little bit off the bottom, just to try and help release a little bit of scent. Just like that. So there we go, look, there's the bait. Plenty of hook points showing. We've got the back hook there. That's ready to go. So clipping this up. It's easier to do this on your rod when you clip it onto your rod. You got the imp there. All you do is put your hook into the imp. You get your hook into the imp right there. And there you go. That's clipped up. When the imp hits the water, it releases your bait. But this is all easier to clip up on your rod rest. So there's a swivel on this pulley rig, right there. And that is what goes onto my clip on my main line. And the rig is ready then. I'm going to bring one of the rods in and get this cast out. Reach for the stars, 'cause we're aiming high. Well, I'm still fishing away. It's dropped dark now, as you can see. I've been getting loads of aggressive slack line bites, but I'm not hooking up. I have lost 2 sets of gear, unfortunately. I have just brought in a dogfish, as you can see here. Not what we want, but it is what it is. You can't help it. Just got to fish through them. So there we go. To be honest, I was going to pack up after the second one when I lost all the gear. I was like, I don't know if I can be bothered. But you know what? Push on. I've re-tied another shock leader, got another rig out, and redone everything and gone again. Fingers crossed the persistence pays off tonight. I don't know. Tide's dropping pretty quick now. I'm not very confident, but we're going to fish for as long as we can till we run out of bait, until I've really had enough. Well, unfortunately, that's the end of the session. There was no more fish except for that dogfish. I've got weeded out now. Just insane amounts of weed. The point of this video anyway was really to say Merry Christmas, hope you have a great New Year, and thank you for supporting me through 2023. As you can see, like this video tonight, I have been out and I have been trying. It's just been really dire. It's been really hard work. It's not through lack of effort. I have been out. Normally I won't post this video, but this video is not really about the fishing. It's to thank you all and say Merry Christmas. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all in 2024.